Why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and the worst of all.
What is going on, guys? I am back with a review of a day at an amusement park, and this time I will be discussing July 2nd, which was this past Friday at Dorney Park. So when we first got to the park, we headed to we had to wait a little at the entrance before they started letting people in. And as soon as they did that and blocked off the lower midway section, we headed straight for Possessed, and we had a Zen ride on it. And in the front row too, we were the first two riders on Possessed that day, just like we were last visit. Isn't that crazy, guys? It's a great start to the day riding Possessed. Yeah. And anyway, after our front row ride on Possessed, we headed to Revolution, and we also got a Zen ride on that too, which was really cool. And I knew I had to sit on the other side so the ride could stay balanced, which I was perfectly okay with. And after that, we headed to Steel Force, and that was a really good front seat ride on that. And we headed to Thunderhawk afterwards, and that was a good ride on that. And after Thunderhawk, we did Dominator Red. That was a good ride on it. And after Dominator Red, we did Dominator Green. And after Dominator Green, we tried to do Demon Drop, but it was closed. And so, because Demon Drop, it doesn't open till noon. And after that disappointment, we headed to Subway for lunch, because we hadn't eaten there yet this season. And that was a good meal at Subway. And so after Subway, we headed to Thunder Creek Mountain before our first ride on that for the season, and that was a really good ride on it. And after Thunder Creek Mountain, we headed to Hydra for a good ride on that, and it was a good ride on that. And after Hydra, we headed to Meteor. That was another good ride on Meteor. And so after Meteor, we changed in the bathrooms right by Parkside Pavilion, and then went on Whitewater Landing for another good ride on that. And it was a good ride on Whitewater Landing. And after Whitewater Landing, we headed to Wildwater Kingdom, where we started with Wildwater Rapids. And, we started with Aqua Blast. Oh my god, why did I think we started with Wildwater Rapids? Probably because we were thinking about doing Patriots Plunge first, but then it, had a line and stuff, so we figured we'd start off with Aqua Blast, and that was a really good ride on it. I felt that Aqua Blast was hauling for some reason, and after that ride on Aqua Blast, we headed to Wildwater Rapids for real, and that was a good ride on Wildwater Rapids. I rode the green once again, and after Wildwater Rapids, we did Cascade, and that was a really good ride on that. And after Cascade, we got two back-to-back rides on Snake Pit, where I rode Constrictor, and EB rode Boa Blasters, and then I rode, and on the second ride, I rode the green Boa Blasters, and EB did the blue Boa Blasters or Constrictor. I don't remember which slide he did, but yeah, we had two back-to-back rides on Snake Pit, and those were really good. And after those two back-to-back rides on Snake Pit, we headed to Wildwater River, and that was a good ride on that. Although we do miss the old cave it had, but the view was nice with Seaside Splash Works. And after after Wildwater River, we decided to try out the orange and blue slides of Seaside Splash Works. I'm pretty sure I already rode the blue, but I'm pretty sure I already rode the blue on May 31st before I rode it on July 2nd. And I also got on the orange slide of Seaside Splash Works, and that ride on the orange slide was good, but the blue is my favorite on Seaside Splash Works. And then after that, we got the bucket on Seaside Splash Works, which was really refreshing. And so after Seaside Splash Works, we headed to we headed to Lightning Falls afterward, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And on Lightning Falls, like right after the ride, my iPod fell out of my pocket and into Runaway River, which was closed. So my iPod had a fun day in the lazy river. and yeah, that was a good ride on Lightning Falls, despite me losing my iPod and it falling into Runaway River after that ride we had on it. And so anyway, after Lightning Falls, before Lightning Falls, we did Aqua Racer. Oh my god, I almost forgot about that. I keep forgetting. And so anyway, after Aqua Racer was the ride where I lost my iPod after the ride. Like, that is one ride I'll never forget on Lightning Falls, where I lost my iPod and I dropped it and then it floated its way into Runaway River. And after that disastrous ride on Lightning Falls, we did Aqua Racer before that. I just forgot that we did Aqua Racer before Lightning Falls. And so anyway, after that ride on Lightning Falls, we headed to Patriots Plunge for a good ride in on that. And yeah, after Patriots Plunge, we did Aqua Blast again, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we did Aqua Blast again. And then after Aqua Blast, we swam in the wave pool for a bit, and those were 3 good cycles. And after the wave pool, we headed to Wildwater Rapid to Snake Pit for another rewrite on that, since I still had yet to get on the Blue Blasters for the season. And so after Snake Pit, we headed to Wildwater Rapids for another good ride on that. This time I did the blue and it was good. And so after Wildwater Rapids, we changed. I got an IC and EB got a Dippin' Dots, which was really good. And yeah, so after that, those pit stops, we tried to look for the lost and found, which was right near the water park, right near the entrance of the water park, so I could try to get my iPod back, but that lost and found was closed, so we had to wait till after park closing. And anyway, I'll tell you the results of that after. And so after we exited the water park, we rode Talon, and that was a good ride on it. And then after Talon, we rode Dodgem, which was not an enjoyable ride because there were a bunch of traffic jams. And after Dodgem, we headed to Wave Swinger, and after Wave Swinger, we headed to Kaleidoscope, and after Kaleidoscope, we headed to Ferris Wheel for our first ride on that for the season, and it was a good ride on Ferris Wheel. We were able to get some good shots, and we made some funny antics, and yeah, after the Ferris Wheel, we rode Sea Dragon, and there was a funny guy in the behind us. And after the after Sea Dragon, we rode Enterprise, and that was a good ride on it. And I ran into Karen too. And after Enterprise, we rode Tilt-A-Whirl, where I ran into my friend Jack once again. He's operating Tilt-A-Whirl this season. So Jack, I know you're watching this, so thank you for appearing in my vlog and saying hi to us once again. And this was our first time seeing him since 2020, and yeah, so anyway, thank you, Jack, for being in my vlog. And after Tilt-A-Whirl, we headed to Apollo for a good ride on that. And after Apollo, we rode the Whip, where it started coming down rain, and then it slowed down again, and then yeah, it rained really hard while we were riding the Whip. And just when we got off of it, it started to slow down, and then, it completely stopped by the time we gotten off of it and gotten in line for Monster. And that was our first ride on Monster for the season 2, by the way. And so after the Monster, we headed to Possessed for a re-ride on that. And that was a good re-ride on Possessed. And after that, we headed for another re-ride on Steel Force. And that was a good ride on that. It was especially funny on the break run where some kid was like, "Which one are you talking about? The Tiger one?" And after Steel Force, we headed to Amore Pizza for dinner since we hadn't eaten there since 2020. And I really started to like Amore Pizza. And I really started to like Amore Pizza in 2020. So I wanted to go back and eat there again. Yeah. And that was a good meal at Amore Pizza. And after Amore Pizza, we headed to Talon. And that was a good ride on it. And after Talon, we headed to Good Time Gifts, where I bought 2 parts of Talon. I bought the lifting mechanism and the axle. And both are sitting on the bottom drawer of my nightstand over there. I'll show you them in a bit. But yeah, I bought both of the ride parts. And I also bought this Talon drawstring bag. And it is really cool how it's like black and stuff. And I bought a tie-dye Steel Force shirt, which also looks really cool. And I bought a bag of Airheads, Airheads like those mini bite, but mini like strip Airhead things. And I already ate the whole bag that night while I was working on my vlog. And so, anyway, after that pit stop in Good Time Gifts, where I bought quite some stuff, we headed to Lost and Found right outside of the park. And luckily, they had my iPod, so that was a really lucky turnout of that result. Because, like, I was worried that whole rest of the day that I was not going to get my iPod back and I'd have to do everything on my phone. And yeah, so anyway, after I got my iPod back, that pretty much concluded our day at Dorney Park. It was our first visit there since May 31st. Isn't that crazy, guys? And yeah, so make sure to reply to me your thoughts on this video, and make sure to reply to me like how you're doing in general if you want to. And make sure to check out my merch store on Bonfire. I'll have a link in the description. I have face masks, coffee mugs, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, you know, all the things. So make sure you go check that out. I'll have a link in the description. And before I go, I just want to show you those ride parts. So here is the lifting mechanism right here. And here is the axle I bought. This is my favorite part of Talon that I ended up buying. Yeah. Isn't it cool how I have ride parts here, guys? And so, anyway, yeah, I will see you in the next